What's going on, America? This is Kevin in Kevin's Corner. And I can't make sense out of this nonsense, but I'm going to try. Yeah, so old man Bernie Sanders and the rest of the Democrats, of course, you know, when Martin Luther King Day comes around, they have to make sure that they appeal to the black people to show that they're tolerant and they're awake. They're able to see the struggle. They're able to identify with all of the years of oppression, and they like to virtue signal so they can soak the black voter base. And it's killing me. It really is, because see, these politicians are making some of the most dangerous, reckless accusations that any politician could make about someone. When you make definitive statements about the sitting president as what they're about to make, I got to let you hear it. Then we're going to talk about it briefly. I'm not even going to make this a long video. But after seeing this, there was a time where, like, you take, for example, old man Bernie Sanders, his politics sucked, okay? All of his ideas sucked. But for a while, when he was running, I said one thing I can respect about old man Bernie is that he seemed sincere about what he was talking about in regards to what he wanted to see, you know, the people receiving. I mean, he had a lot more passion than Hillary, and he seemed sincere. But to hear old man Bernie go out there and make claims and statements like this right here, the little bit of respect that I had for him now is completely gone, you know, because see, he might have been passionate about his campaign and some of his ideas, but either he's completely lying and he knows he's lying about this, or he really believes what he's saying, what you're about to hear. And if that's the case, either one of those situations makes him just suck. Yeah, that's what it makes him do. Makes him suck. So here's old man Bernie, and then there's another person too on the Democratic Party who says some things that I didn't appreciate as well. So let's hear what old man Bernie has to say.
Today we talk about justice, and today we talk about racism. And I must tell you, it gives me no pleasure to tell you that we now have a president of the United States who is a racist.
So, Ed, has this holiday...
Wow. You hear that? Straight up called the president of the United States a racist. And I'm assuming all of his evidence is based off of what? All the things we probably heard in the media that, you know, he called all the Mexicans rapists, drug dealers. But here's the funny part. I haven't heard an actual racist comment out of Trump's mouth, meaning something specifically dealing with race, not your actions, okay? One, he didn't call all the Mexicans rapists, drug dealers, and murderers. He was talking about illegal immigrants, and he qualified that, okay? He qualified it. I'm not even going to go into that one again, because I still hear that talking point all the time on the liberal funky media, okay? But he is yet to say black people are whatever, or Mexicans are dirty, or it always usually gets to a behavior, okay? Not just based off of your race. It's a behavior. So what is the evidence to this? I guess you cannot criticize individuals. You can't criticize maybe a group of people who might have the same characteristics or qualities. And if that's the case, then you're able to make an assessment. All right. But he didn't come out and say anything since he's even ran for president that you can honestly say, dude, that cannot be taken any other way except for racist. See, what the media does and what old man Bernie here is doing is they infer. They try to apply their own narrative to everything that someone says that is either not in their party, it's against their party. And so what they do is they make up what they don't know. They don't know what a person meant when they said what they said in their heart, unless it's very clear. Like President Clinton, I think it was when Obama was running, he said years ago this guy would be getting us coffee or something like that. But yeah, now that right there, that was racist. You know, Joe Biden, he's pretty articulate for a black guy, you know, all this stuff. I mean, those are statements that you can look and say, that's racist. Tell me again, what actions have Trump taken that would warrant this type of definitive statement that can literally destroy and tear our country in two? Because see, here's what this does. By him saying this, what it also does is it casts a reflection on all of the people who voted for President Trump. So now what you're saying is that all of the people who voted for Trump have horrible judgment. We're looking at this man and either we got bad judgment or we know that he's a racist and we just don't care. We all are racist then. That means we all either like, that's darn right, we finally put a person who believes in white supremacy in office. I knew he was racist and I supported him. Or we're all sitting around going, he pulled a fast one on us. So you mean to tell me the last 30 years I've been observing Donald Trump and I never heard him say the N-word, saw him hanging out with all these black people, saw him dating black models, saw him giving to Jesse Jackson and the Rainbow Coalition and being honored by him, have him hanging out with Aretha Franklin, George Foreman, hanging out with Mike Tyson, hanging out with Muhammad Ali. All those times he was tricking us? You mean to tell me he slipped that by us? We didn't even catch it. Right up under our nose. That is crazy. You mean to tell me that this man was able to go at least 30, 40 years in the public's eye, loved by all these different black people and other nationalities, but nobody ever said, man, I was hanging out golfing with Trump the other day and he called the guy who carries the golf clubs a boy. Or he called him, look here, did you see the little moolie over there? Yeah, never heard him say it once. Out golfing with Tiger Woods. Most racists don't hang out with people of color at all. Yeah. You mean tell me all of that racism that made him support Jennifer Hudson when her family was killed and none of the virtuous white people came to her rescue, but Donald Trump did? You mean to tell me the time that he supported Jesse Jackson's presidential campaign when most of the people thought it was stupid and it wasn't popular to get on the bandwagon and say, I like black people, I support them too? You mean to tell me that time he did that, it was all fueled to deceive all of us to think that he wasn't racist? I mean, is that it? He just tricked us. He did all of that stuff to paint a false narrative, to throw us off the trail so we would vote for him in 2016. That's what he did, right? For people to believe this, I'm sick of hearing stuff like this. I'm just going to be very candid, and I might take heat for this, but if you still walking around believing this rhetoric, I got to question some things. I got to question some things. The evidence does not show it. Practical applications doesn't mean you're racist because you want to protect your nation and you need to build a wall to do that. Walls are not racist. I don't understand any of his policies that you can even claim that are racist. None of the rights have been rolled back about for black people, people of color, nothing. Women, nothing. Where's the evidence that Bernie, old man Bernie, could get up there and make a statement like that? Now I got one more. Yeah, this guy tried to preach, y'all. Y'all ready for this one? Look at this knucklehead. Let's see.
Let me just simply say, obviously these are challenging times
A
in
king.
the United States of America. We have a hater in the White House.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Oh, amen. A birther in chief.
The Grand Wizard of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
I don't even see how you can be a professional, a politician, and say, you know what? I'm going to get up there and I'm going to make these claims and paint an image that I either know is not true or I don't have any evidence that is true, and I'm just using it for political gain, but yet I know what this can do. Yes, it might earn me a few votes, but it also will destroy this person's character. It will drive white people and black people apart, but yet I claim that I'm trying to bring harmony and unity and break down all this racial division by spewing racism. That's what kills me about the Democratic Party. They claim they're fighting against racism by keeping racism stirred up in the minds of most Americans. That's all they do. If you don't believe me, and I know some of y'all out there, if you're black and you're not a conservative, you might be thinking, how could this black man get up there and say something like that? I can see it right now. Some of them old black men, boy, you don't know what you're talking about. There's a lot of racist white people who never done that. I trust me, growing up in an inner city black neighborhood, I know the difference though between real racism and this made up garbage. Hopefully y'all do too. And that's the problem. We've come so far against racism that most people in this era can't recognize real racism or not. If we could teleport some of y'all back into the past and see some real racism, maybe you wouldn't be so quick to believe people like this. Maybe you wouldn't listen to old man Bernie and be like, yeah, see, when you live so good and you're so fat and everything's so comfortable, you got to make up problems that aren't problems. And the Democrats have been masters of creating problems that are problems. So now, all of a sudden, racism has come back in full effect and is living in the White House. And this man's up here preaching to these people, and they're talking like, yes, amen, yeah. And I'm thinking, maybe y'all haven't been confronted with real racism. It's like the person who says, I'm hungry, feel like I haven't eaten in days, and they haven't eaten in maybe 2 or 3 hours. They're saying that, but they don't really know what it feels like to not eat for 2 or 3 days. So then you take them somewhere where people literally have not eaten for 2 or 3 days, and they're able to see the difference and understand that my assessment of starvation is horrible compared to this person's assessment. All right? Well, these people's assessment of what racism is horrible. Because I'm thinking to myself, where's real racism and how does that play into today's society, and how can we even recognize it when we got idiots like this jumping up there declaring that the president is a racist and everything else is racism, okay? Find me one Democratic politician that can go 5 minutes in a debate without bringing up racism, sexism, homophobia, and any of those things. 5 minutes just debating on the merits. 5 minutes of staying on the issues without bringing up some type of racism and identity politics. Let's hear some more of this idiot before we go. And then they try to use Dr. King to kind of piggyback off of and stuff like that. Dr. King was conservative. And the Democratic Party, especially, it burns me up when I see the black politicians in the Democratic Party get up there. And I'm thinking, you guys are being used by the Democratic Party and have done more damage to the black community worse than anybody else. All y'all are overseers, making sure that the black people stay on the Democratic plantation, think the same way, and don't start contemplating getting off the plantation. Or else we'll send out some hound dogs to get you. Starting off with calling you a coon, calling you a sellout, and all of those things. And if that don't work, then we just try to assassinate your character any way we can. Because we can't have it getting out there that black people can think for themselves. And you can't have us thinking about politics outside of identity politics. You don't want us out there thinking that, hey, what about the issues? No, you want us thinking, groupthink that all of us are victims and we're all black and there's racism out there to get us all, so we all got to stick together, right? Yeah. Instead of saying, wait a minute, maybe, just maybe, racism isn't the big monster they're telling us that's roaming all around to keep us inside the gate. What happens if we go outside the gate and find out there's no monster out there? Yeah, that's the type of thinking that's dangerous to the Democratic Party, and that's why they let politicians like this get up there and spew that type of rhetoric, which is dangerous to everybody, and they should be ashamed of themselves. Now, you're listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. Dropping it tonight. I'm feeling it right now. I'm sorry. Video after video. Anyway, find me on Facebook. Find me on Twitter. Check me out every Wednesday night, 7:30, live in Kevin's Corner on YouTube and on my radio blog talk show. Also, check out Extreme Teas, my sponsor. You can get their products by clicking on the link below this video. And the promo code is my name, Kevin, and you'll get 20% off. If you want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, there's a link in the bottom to do that as well. And then finally, hit like, share, subscribe, and the notification button. And we'll see you next time in Kevin's Corner.